I'll tell you right now, it was surprisingly simple. My very first shirt came out great, and because I'm a leather crafter, I was curious, can I use this on leather? So I went ahead and pressed some DTF transfers onto Vegetan leather, and that worked too. So come on, I'll show you the settings I used, the necessary info I picked up along the way, and how easy this machine really is. So let's go ahead and dive in. Alright, so here's the control panel. It has a bunch of features. Let me talk to you first about the A and B feature. Now there's A. A and B are presets basically, and you can set them yourself to whatever material you plan on using. So for example, A I have set right now, oh this is purple dye from leather crafting by the way. Anyway, I have A set now to 15 seconds and 275 degrees. And the reason I have that is because I'm doing DTF transfers today. And this is what was recommended by a few other reviews I watched. So I'm going to give it a try. I know the manual itself says to do it at 300 degrees and 30 seconds. So this will be a test. Let's go ahead and see if this works. And if you hit the gear, it switches to B. Now B right now I have set for 30 seconds at 300 degrees for no particular reason. I just wanted to show you that you have two presets. You also get some quick preset buttons. You get HTV and sublimation. So those are settings that have been factory preset, and they have it set to, for the HTV at 320 degrees at 20 seconds. And for sublimation they have set up 400 degrees at 30 seconds. Another great feature, and this is really cool, if you're going to be doing back-to-back shirts like a factory, hit the auto button, and the auto button will be based on whatever you set the machine on. But every time you open the tray and put a new shirt on, and you close the tray, it's going to go ahead and actually just start the heat press. Here I'll show you the auto function. I set it to 5 seconds so it happens quickly. So say you pull it out, you put the shirt on, push it in, when it clicks, it's going to go down on its own. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, and it comes up again. At that point you can pull it out, put on another shirt, throw it back in there real quick, let it click. Alright, well we're going to do DTF transfers, and I ordered some from Amazon. Now DTF stands for direct to film, and what they do is they take special inks, and they also use like an adhesive powder, and they use that to go ahead and print onto the film. And then we use the film on top of the shirt in order to put the image onto the shirt. You can actually buy ready to press DTF designs online, like the ones I picked up on Amazon. But you're not limited to using someone else's artwork. There are print-on-demand companies where you can upload your own images, and they'll print professional DTF sheets for you and ship them back ready to press. So what we're going to try first is, like I said, we're going to do DTFs. I'll show them to you. And we're going to go ahead and try them at 275 for 15 seconds. Anyway, we'll pick one out. Yeah, let's go with this one. Let's give it a shot. Well, that one's pretty cool too. These are all pretty cool. Let's give this one a try. I also bought these shirts off of Amazon. They were inexpensive. They're 100% cotton. And, this is all trial and error. I've never done this before. You're going to watch me do my very first shirt. Alright, so let's go ahead and get this shirt lined up. Take off the Teflon coating. I'm going to put the shirt on. I'm going to put it on the proper way. On the front, well, of course, if you want it on the back. Alright, this is the design we're going to do. And You know, I want to put it face up so I could actually see the design. You don't want to put it like this, just in case. You know, I'm just letting you know, just in case there's someone out there that's confused about that. It looks pretty centered. You know, I deal with centering all day with my leather crafting, so I'm just going to go for it. And you want to make a quick run. I'm going to put the Teflon coating on top of it, just for safety reasons, because I'm not really sure. But what we're going to do is heat up the shirt a little bit. It's going to take out the wrinkles and it's going to take out some of the moisture from what I understand. So I'm going to go ahead and hit play. Oh, you know what? It's not on automatic. I have to push the tray in. Now I'm going to hit play. And then I'm going to wait 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now I'm going to lift it up, let it come back out. Now we can see whether I pushed the shirt in too far or anything like that. If it bunched up, no, it didn't bunch up. Alright, I feel the heat from it. So let's go ahead and put the transfer on. Let's say I'm going to line her hair part up with that line. I don't know if you see that line. So there we go. That looks cool. Alright, this is the first shirt. Let's just dive in. I'm going to push it in. Let's do the full 15 seconds now. I really should have read what I'm supposed to do after this. So I will. As soon as it's done counting, I'll pull it out, we'll take a look at it, and then I will figure out what the next step is. That's the whole idea of this video, is if you end up getting this thing and you have no idea what you're doing. So you can call this a beginner's guide. Alright, it looks mostly straight. Let's take off the... It looks good. I'll be right back. I'm just going to read something real quick. Okay, I'm back. Here's the directions I received. Don't pull it yet. Your DTF sheets are cold peel, which means you need to let the transfer cool down completely before peeling the film. Here's your step number 1. Lift the press and leave the shirt sitting there for about 60 to 90 seconds. You can fan it lightly or lift it gently off the, they call it platen, to cool faster. I'm going to leave it there, because in case I need to push it down again. It should feel cool to the touch, not warm, before you peel. Once it's cooled, peel the film slowly and low to the surface, almost like you're rolling it back instead of pulling upward. If you see any parts lifting, stop immediately and lay the film back down. You can repress for another 3 to 5 seconds to help it stick. After you peeled it cleanly, cover it again and with the Teflon sheet and press for 5 seconds to seal the design. That post-press gives it a smoother finish and locks in the edges. I'm going to change the camera so you can see me peel it. Alright, it feels cool to the touch to me. You know, slightly warm. So let's go ahead and see what happens when we peel it back a little. Alright, are you seeing that? Because everything's so white. Excellent. You know that feeling like when you haven't done something before and you just don't want to mess it up, and then you realize, oh, that was a lot simpler than I thought it would be. Well, that's the experience I just had. You know, you're so reluctant to do something. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and put it under for another 5 seconds as I was instructed. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, let's get rid of this. Nothing's burnt, which is a good sign. I'm sure it's hot right now, so let's just leave it sit again. This is great. This is really promising because I have so many ideas I'd love to put on shirts. All right, I'm feeling comfortable enough to take this shirt off now. There we go. And play around with it. It feels like it's on there. Back up the camera a little bit. It is kind of backed up. There's so much white. You know, I'm wondering if I'm bleaching out the screen. Very cool. Came out nice. Very cool. I'm happy with that. This is nice. I'm kind of excited. Now I can make shirts too. I just did a little bit more research. Another genius test I just had is to put the shirt on. So this is what it looks like. This is my microphone. Hopefully it's working. Put the Teflon on there. Alright. Here we go. Alright, so the question I came up with is, do you always have to wait till it's cold to be able to peel this off? And what it turns out is that there's different type of DTF paper, or the way they create it. And there's cold pull, which is what I have here. And there's also something called warm pull and hot pull. So when you buy them, look to see what they're supposed to be. The hot pulls you can take off right away, which saves a lot of time. I also looked into dye sublimation. Because you're dealing with gases that actually penetrate the fabric, there's no pulling at all. It becomes part of the material. And when it comes to vinyl, you have different types of vinyl. And the better quality, from what I understand, has the capability of being pulled off right away. So here's my piece of veg tan leather. It's about 7-8 ounce. And I'm going to go ahead and prep this. And I made it big enough to where if I ever want to use this for a project, which I plan on doing, that'll be cool. So I'm going to go ahead and heat it up real quick, just for the 5 seconds. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's go ahead and put the design down. This is what I chose to go with. By the way, you can use, let me grab it. If you're worried about your pattern shifting, you can use heat tape. This is heat tape. I use it for the hats because the hats are shaped unusual. And for that reason, you have to go ahead and, the hats are shaped unusual. So for that reason, you want to go ahead and tape it down. I'm going to trust this isn't going to move right now, nor does it really matter, because what I'll end up doing is cutting this out and add stitching holes and put it on some sort of object, make something out of it. All right, now we're going to do the full 15 seconds, 275, and see how this turns out. And we're on medium pressure. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This would be cool if it works on leather because it's a whole nother way of making things. Of course it is hot, so I'm going to let this cool down and I will see you in a moment. Alright, let's go ahead and peel this off. It is, I would say, cool to warm. Slightly warm. Alright. Now that opens the door to a lot of cool leather crafting. Let's go ahead and do the second 5-second smush. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Now, of course, it's only going to flex so much, I would assume. If it cools down, I mean, we could literally try to turn it into a cylinder and see how well it works. Just out of curiosity. It didn't burn the sides at all. Everything, the leather looks fine. Totally untouched. It's pretty warm now. Let's give it a little bend test out of curiosity. Oh. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty good. It's not peeling off. You know, I don't want to go too far because I want to use this for something. But it seems to be able to handle it. That's nice. That's excellent. I'm happy. So my experience with this machine was excellent. The Vevor Auto Heat Press. It did everything I needed, and it did it really well. I have nothing to compare it to because I've never done this before. But I was able to get my first presses perfect. Everything worked out great. Plus, I did research and I investigated on how to do things properly. If anyone's curious, to let you know, the heat range of this thing is 32 degrees to 410 degrees Fahrenheit, which is also 0 to 210 Celsius. Time range, that means how long you can set it for to stay down, is 0 to 999 seconds. That's quite a bit of time. I don't know what you'd be pressing for that long. The power outage is 1400 watts, so I guess it's similar to like a hairdryer. The plate size is 15 by 15, so you could do patterns that are like 15 by 15. The weight is 39.7. It does have some heft to it, definitely. So, you know, if you plan on bringing it to a friend's house, just remember it's kind of heavy. And it's built really well. It's built really solid. And let's see what else. Well, it has auto press, which is great. Auto release, auto shut off. So after 15 minutes of it being idle, it'll shut off on its own. Automatic pressure calibration up to 1 inch thick, which is excellent. Presets, 2 quick presets for HTV and sublimation, plus your AB custom settings, which I used right away. After testing it on cotton shirts and even veg tan leather with DTF, I can honestly say it performs great. If you've been thinking about trying a heat press and were hesitant, this is a solid first choice. And it's affordable, it's simple and reliable. And yes, I was reading that because I wrote it down and it's easier to do that. But I definitely mean it, it's true. This really worked well for me. I'm really happy I got it. I would not recommend making a Cuban sandwich or any form of grilled cheese sandwich with it unless you're in a state of emergency, because I think it definitely will be capable of doing that. All right, well, what started out as an experiment and a little reluctant vibe turned out to be fantastic. I'm really thrilled about it. You know, I do vending, so now I plan on coming up with designs and just offering the shirts to hang there. I could buy the shirts cheap enough and the patterns probably cheap enough to give a good deal and have fun making creative new shirts. And of course, the fact that I can put it on leather crafting This is great. This opens up a whole new door of designs on leather. There's definitely ways to implement that. So once again, look, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I hope this was helpful. You know, I try to do videos that are just like, you know, not advertisements, because I personally hate that myself. So yes, you saw it in real time. I've never used one before. Everything worked out fine. This is a simple machine, so I am going to recommend it. Thanks again, everyone. Remember, as I always say, treat each other well. Let's try to make this planet into what it could be, which is just everyone, you know, getting along, have peaceful debates. It's all right to feel differently about things, but just discuss it, and then we can meet in the middle. Thanks again. Take care.